I never knew the man I loved had another life. For years, I thought Daniel was my everything. He was charming, gentle, and caring, the kind of man who made me believe I had finally found forever. We met at a friend's wedding. I still remember the way he smiled when he first saw me across the room. The kind of smile that makes you feel like you're the only person in the world. Our love was quick, intense, and beautiful. Within months, he proposed, and I said yes without hesitation. Our wedding was small but perfect. Everyone said we looked like a fairy tale couple, and for a long time, I believed we were. The early days of our marriage were blissful. We laughed, traveled, and made promises about our future. He called me every morning before work, sent sweet messages during the day, and never missed saying goodnight. I used to thank God for giving me a man like him. But little did I know, the man I was falling asleep next to was slowly becoming a stranger. It started with small things: missed calls, late nights, sudden work trips that didn't make sense. I brushed it off because I trusted him. I didn't want to be the wife who doubted, but trust, I learned, can sometimes blind you. His stories began to sound rehearsed. His phone, which he used to leave carelessly around, was now always face down. Sometimes I'd wake up in the middle of the night and find him texting in the bathroom. He'd say he couldn't sleep and was checking emails. I wanted to believe him, so I did. But a woman's instinct is powerful. Deep down, I felt something was wrong. One afternoon, while doing laundry, I found a hotel receipt tucked in his jacket. The date was from the night he'd told me he was working late. My hands shook as I read it. I confronted him gently, trying not to sound paranoid. He smiled, kissed my forehead, and said it was from a business dinner. His voice was calm, reassuring. I wanted to believe him so badly that I convinced myself I was over it. But once doubt enters your heart, it never truly leaves. Days turned into weeks, and the uneasiness grew. He'd started spending weekends traveling for meetings. When I asked to join him once, he laughed it off and said it was boring office stuff. He still brought me flowers, told me love me, and held my hand like before, but something in his eyes had changed. His warmth felt colder, his affection mechanical. I began to notice little inconsistencies in his stories, different timelines, different names, details that didn't match. Still, I stayed silent, watching, listening, pretending not to see what my heart already knew. Then, one evening, everything changed. I received a message on social media from a woman named Vanessa. It was short and sharp. "You deserve to know who your husband really is." Attached were photos. Daniel entered together, smiling, holding hands, kissing. My body went cold. The world around me blurred. I couldn't breathe. The man I loved, the man I trusted, had been living a double life. He wasn't working late or traveling for business. He was spending time with her. For hours, I just sat there staring at those pictures. Every memory, every laugh, every kiss we shared replayed in my mind, now poisoned by lies. I wanted to scream, to cry, but all I could do was sit in silence. When he came home that night, I looked at him differently. His smile felt fake, his words hollow. I didn't confront him immediately. Instead, I watched him, really watched him. The way he avoided eye contact, how his phone was glued to him, how easily he lied without hesitation. The next morning, while he showered, I opened his laptop. He had forgotten to log out. That's when I saw everything. Messages to Vanessa, love letters, plans for trips, even photos of them with a little boy. My heart stopped. It wasn't just an affair. He had a child with her. My entire world collapsed in that moment. I fell to the floor and sobbed until my throat burned. Everything I had believed in was gone. The man who promised to protect me had been living a whole other life behind my back. That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay awake beside him, listening to him breathe, wondering how someone could lie so easily while sleeping next to the woman he married. Anger began to rise inside me, slowly replacing the pain. I realized crying wouldn't change what he did. I needed to take control of my story. He had taken everything from me, my trust, my peace, but I wouldn't let him take my dignity. Over the next few days, I became someone new, silent but sharp. I smiled when he lied. I kissed him when he made excuses. All the while, I was collecting everything: photos, emails, bank statements, proof of his second life. I even hired a private investigator. I found out he had been with her for years. He bought her gifts with our money. He paid for their apartment. And all this time, he made me feel guilty for doubting him. When I finally had everything I needed, primera ma de my plan. His birthday was coming up. He had planned a big party with friends, colleagues, and family. He wanted to look perfect, the successful husband, the loyal man. That was the night I decided the truth would come out. I prepared everything carefully: screenshots, videos, and photos. I put them together in a presentation. The night before the party, I stood in front of the mirror and whispered to myself, "Tomorrow, you take back your power." The next evening, the house was full of laughter and music. Everyone praised Daniel for being such a devoted husband. He stood there smiling, shaking hands, thanking everyone for coming. When it was time for speeches, he took the microphone and said, "I'm grateful for my beautiful wife, who's always been my biggest support." I stood at the back of the room, holding a small remote. My hands were steady. My heart was calm. As soon as he finished his sentence, I pressed the button. The lights dimmed and the projector came to life. Photos of him and Vanessa appeared on the screen. Their child, hotel bills, messages, videos, gasps filled the room. People turned to look at him. His smile disappeared. His face went pale. He tried to speak, stuttering. "This isn't what it looks like." I walked up slowly, took the microphone, and said, "It's exactly what it looks like." The room went silent. You all deserve to know the man behind the mask, the husband who built 2 lives and destroyed them both. He tried to stop me, but I stepped back. "No, Daniel," I said. "You've lied enough." The whispers grew louder. Camera started recording. He begged me to stop, but I kept talking. "You lied to me. You lied to her. You lied to everyone who trusted you." Then I placed the microphone on the table, looked him straight in the eye, and said, "Happy birthday." I walked out of that hall without looking back. I didn't care about the shocked faces, the whispers, or the pity. I just kept walking. When I reached outside, I finally took a deep breath. For the first time in years, I felt free. The next day, news spread quickly. His company suspended him. His business partners cut ties. Vanessa left him too after realizing he had lied to her as well. His perfect image was gone. Everything he built on lies crumbled, but I didn't feel joy. I felt peace. In the following weeks, I moved out. I found a new place, a new job, and started over. The silence that once scared me became comforting. I no longer waited for calls or texts. I no longer cried over someone who didn't deserve my tears. Sometimes I'd think about our wedding day, how happy I was, how blind I had been. But instead of pain, I felt gratitude because his betrayal had freed me. One morning, I got a letter from him. He wrote that he was sorry, that he had lost everything, that he finally understood what he'd done. I didn't reply. I didn't need to. My silence was enough. Forgiveness doesn't mean letting someone back into your life. It means you've made peace with the pain they caused. Months later, I started smiling again genuinely. I learned to love my own company, to trust my instincts, to never settle for half-truths again. I realized that revenge wasn't about hurting him. It was about reclaiming myself. Now, when I look back, I don't see a woman broken by betrayal. I see a woman reborn through it. His double life may have been hidden, but when I revealed everything, I didn't just expose him, I discovered myself. Because the truth always finds its way to the surface. And when it does, it doesn't just destroy lies, it sets you free.